Namaste. Welcome to Bull and Beer. I hope you are doing good. Today we are going to talk about one new mutual fund, and this mutual fund is best in its category. But before we start our today's video, I would like to request you about happy investing. And what is happy investing is all the profits, all the money you make, please try to contribute some part of it as per your own wish for some noble cause. Because when you do something nice, noble, and for good cause, good luck and prosperity will come back to you more, and your money will be multiplied even further. So let's start today's video. Today we will talk about Bandhan small cap mutual fund, and this mutual fund is top highest return in small cap mutual fund category. Actually, if you look 1 year return, this mutual fund is the top in its category. Actually, I am not a big fan of this particular mutual fund, and I will explain why. But if you're looking purely for return on investment, it is the best in small cap category, and I will tell you the return it has provided. But it has almost doubled the money if you have invested 1 year ago. Not exactly doubled, but almost. It is close to double your money if you have invested 1 year ago. And small cap funds are very risky in investment. So please remember before you invest. But let's understand what is small cap mutual funds. So as per SEBI, the companies which are below 250 in the index in terms of market capitalization are considered into small cap companies. And also, if we see the companies which has market capitalization of less than 5,000 crore of rupees are considered small cap companies. Now, actually small cap mutual fund means they have to invest into companies where the market cap is below 5,000 crores of rupees, or majority of the money into these sorts of companies. They can invest in other portfolio as well, but the majority of money by the fund manager should come into such kind of companies. Now let's look at the return for last 1 month. Actually, if you see, mutual funds are behaving as per the stock market. Basically what happens is, in mutual funds, a fund manager invests your money into companies, into stocks, but not only one as you invest in the stock market, but in a pool of companies. Now if you see, in the last 1 month it has given a return of 11.66%, and it is going significantly or in a good proportion on the higher side, which is a good trend. Because if you see some other categories, they are not performing good, but small cap mutual funds at this point of time in the last 1 month has given good return. But usually you do not invest in mutual funds for 1 month or for short term. You usually invest for long term. So let's look at last 6 months. And now if you see this particular picture, you will see I have done some analysis, and you can see in the last 1 month or little longer, it has been going very good, and it is going higher. And I think small cap mutual funds will go higher in the next 1 year up to 3 years, because small cap companies have a lot of potential to grow in India. Indian economy is gonna grow, and small cap companies is gonna grow even bigger. Now let's see, there are some dips actually, and you can see these highlighted 3 parts which I have shown. But these dips are not only for small cap or small cap companies, but these dips are overall in the stock market. If you see Indian stock market overall, and if you pick any category of mutual fund, these dips you will see there also. And these dips have different reasons. For example, these dips happened when there was some negative news in the stock market due to some scam. This dip can be at the time when election results came out and people were expecting a strong government, or a majority government would be formed. So these dips happen at that particular point of time. So let's look at 1 year, because when I said you this is not the best small cap mutual fund, though it gives the highest return. Let's look at 1 year. So if you see last 1 year, this particular mutual fund, which is Bandhan small cap mutual fund, has given the best and the highest return in this category, which is 75.27. And you can see, if you see as compared to last 1 year, the rough value was about, I think, 26 Indian rupees, and it's about 46 Indian rupees now, which is close to double. And that's why I said, it's not exactly double, but close to double. And you can see it's significantly growing up. And as I said, in the next 1 year up to next 3 years, small cap mutual funds will grow further, though it carry risk also, because it is simple common sense that a small company have more chances to grow. If let's say there's one shop, they may open 10 shops, this 10 become 100 become 1000, whereas a company which has already 1000 shops, they have less potential to grow. So that is why they grow. The large companies grow slow and small companies grow faster, because they have a bigger potential, they have a bigger let's say area and opportunities in front of them. But at the same time, they have risk, because if a particular service or product they are offering is not liked by the market, sometimes company go bankrupt and they are not doing good. Now actually, another thing I want to mention, actually, if you see for 3 years of duration, this particular mutual fund is not giving the highest return, and there are other mutual funds which I'm going to show. But before that, let's look at a very important area related to this mutual fund and any other mutual fund, that what makes this mutual fund good or bad, or why a particular mutual fund gives higher return and not the other one. It's because of the holdings, because of the companies where your money is invested. And if you look at Bandhan small cap, the fund managers have invested money into about 145 different stocks. And if you see the holdings in Bandhan small cap, actually Chola Mandalam Financial Holding is the company where the highest money is invested, which is not big but 2.48%. Arvind Limited, REC Limited, and other two companies where more than 2% of the money is invested. And you can see some other companies, they're all good companies: Kirloskar, Motilal Oswal, Power Finance, Shell Engineering, TVS Holding. So they're all good companies and they all have potential to grow even further. And that is why I think in next 1 to 3 years, this is a good mutual fund to invest in, but may not be the best. And we will come to it, why it may not be the best. Now let's look at the sectors where the money is invested. So one is the companies where the money is invested, and next is the sectors where the money is invested. So actually, the good thing about this mutual fund is more than 21% of the money is invested into financial sector. And India's financial sector is transforming, and it is growing, and it is expanding, because 10 years, 20 years ago, not a lot of people have bank accounts, not a lot of people have demat accounts, not a lot of people have insurance, not a lot of people were able to have different apps to do different kind of investing or banking and so on. But now, as of today, you can see many of the people have access to all this because of the technology, because of smartphones, because of education, because of awareness. And imagine next 3 to 5 years even would be better. So we have huge population in India, and still a majority or a big chunk of population does not have access to all these, and slowly or very soon they all will have access to these. So they all would be using different kind of financial services, and this will help these financial companies to grow further, and the mutual fund price and the stock price will go further up. And likewise, if you see other sectors where the money is invested are also very important and upcoming sectors, such as services, healthcare, construction, mining, energy. So these are all sectors where India is gonna grow. Any companies in this sector, if they are good companies, they will grow. And as I said, the money where the it's invested in Bandhan small cap are they pretty stable and good companies. Now let's look at the comparison, because I personally feel comparison gives a good idea how this particular mutual fund is doing as compared to others. And let's look at the category average first of all. So you see, for 1 year, this mutual fund is giving the highest return of 75.3%, and the category average is very low, it's only 55%. So this particular mutual fund, the money invested in the companies are pretty doing well, doing good. But if you see 3 years, it's very close, 29 for this fund as compared to 26 for category average, and there is very small difference. And actually, let's say another comparison, which is peer comparison, where I am showing you more mutual funds in small cap. And if you see for 3 years, actually this is giving only 29%, whereas Nippon, Quant and Tata small cap are giving higher returns. And that is why I said Bandhan small cap is a good investment but may not be the best. So I personally would like, and I have invested also my money in Nippon, Quant and another one called Axis Nifty 50 small cap. So I think I will highly recommend you to consider those along with this, because if it's 1 year, maybe Bandhan can still do better. But if it's longer than 1 year, then you have better mutual funds, and also it is not only, this mutual fund, you have to consider other things. So for example, Nippon small cap has the highest, let's say AUM, or the money in the investment when it comes to small cap category, whereas Bandhan is almost 1/4 of it. So if you see from that perspective, I would say Nippon or Quant could be the best options for you to consider as well. And you can see I am gonna put more videos and you can refer and listen to that as well to make your own decision. But I have done some homework for you, and I came across one article by Financial Express. It's a recent article where they're talking about 10 small cap funds which has delivered the highest return. And again, Bandhan is one of the small cap funds, so it is a good fund to consider. Likewise, if you see, I looked at another article which is published by Outlook Business Plus Money, and again it's a recent article, and here also you can see they have said that Bandhan has given good returns, but also they're talking about Nippon small cap fund, which I think I also highly recommend. Another article by Upstocks, it's another recent article published, and they have also mentioned the top small cap funds, and Bandhan is also there along with some others. But again, as I said, Bandhan is a good one, but please consider other small cap funds as well, such as Quant and Nippon. But definitely in short term, for 1 year time zone, time horizon, Bandhan could be a good investment, but Nippon and Quant could be equally good for even longer term as well. Now, before we close today's video, I would like to mention about expense ratio and exit load. So expense ratio for this mutual fund is not high, it's very reasonable, which is 0.33%. And if you see exit load, it's 1%. Usually exit load in mutual funds is 1% if you redeem within 1 year, but sometimes some mutual funds even have a shorter duration, but for this one it's 1% if you redeem within 1 year. The other important thing is the fund manager. I looked at the fund managers for this one, which is Manish Gunwani, Kirti Jain, Ritika Behera and Harsh Bhatia. They have good experience, and they have been doing pretty well. But if you see, they have been managing this fund not from a long time, it's just almost last 6 months to 1 year, and that is why you have to consider some other mutual funds. But again, please remember, you have to listen to me but do your own analysis, because mutual funds carry risk, any financial investments always carry some risk. So please take your own decision. Listen, everyone, read your own material and do your own homework and then make the decision. But thank you so much for listening. I wish you all good luck and prosperity, and looking forward to talk to you again. Thank you so much. Namaste.